All right. We all know that there's been lots of pressure put on the Chapitos recently, mainly from the American government. There were several executive orders signed by President Biden the other day that put the spotlight on them. And this is exactly a little bit more of that. We're going to get into some details in specific about Ovidio, also known as El Raton. Now, please consider becoming a member if you'd like to see videos like this one days before anyone else is talking about them. Sometimes two, sometimes three, sometimes more. Consider it. And please, as well, check out the Patreon and smash on the like button, leave a comment down below. I'd really appreciate it. Now, I hope this isn't gonna cause violence at the end of the day here in Culiacan again, as far as more attention being put on the Chapitos. It looks like they're gonna plan another big operation. Whenever you see all this big pressure coming in from the United States in particular, there's usually an operation afterwards. In fact, right before Black Friday, when they previously tried to capture a video, there was a very important visit by several very key DEA officials here to Culiacan, and they're supposed to be the ones who pressured and helped plan and facilitate that operation, which was a disaster and could have incurred a lot of civilian losses. Now, where to go? Now, he's responsible for killing a singer who refused to sing at his wedding. So he's married now. No, that's another piece of news, I guess. And he murdered this man for refusing to sing, which is a bad idea to refuse to sing at his wedding. I don't know what the reason for the refusal was, but I don't suspect it was anything personal. The person was probably scared. It was probably supposed to be what I can imagine a private event because they all are with his family and with pretty much any big narco family. It's not a public event, their weddings. And this dude was scared to go to a private event where well, he knew what he was singing for. So that refusal probably pissed him off and it cost him his life. I just can't imagine it being something personal against Ovidio because no one would do that dumb. And he's known, might I say, for being fairly violent. I think out of all the brothers, he is the most violent. You know, Ivan's known for being very efficient and very business minded, but Ovidio in particular, I've heard stories. Now, nothing I've seen with my own eyes, right? Where to go? Now, on top of all this, if that wasn't enough, he's also been identified of having very important links into Argentina with drug trafficking routes and groups, and also responsible for a fair share of violence in that country. The reason for this is because it's now been identified by the State Department and other government agencies of the United States that he has his own cell. So it's not just like the Chapitos, they have all the people working for them. All the people that work for the Chapitos are under the same entity, but just like the Anthrax or other groups, they're all separated into separate cells. Lots of times that never even know each other, or sometimes know of each other's existence. It just really depends how geographically separate they are and if there's any intermingling between these groups, and usually there's not. The Sinaloa cartel is very hermetic. I've said that for years, and that's just how they keep things. So if someone gets tortured, they can tell everything about the other groups and get everyone killed. It makes sense the why they do it, but crazy that they're that disciplined at it because the leadership really is. They really are strict on that about people not talking and not even knowing each other's existence. Now, this is another big hit because they have 11 narco labs that are going to take a lot of heat right now. You know, they produce in between 3 to 5,000 pounds, so between 1,300 to 2,200 kilos of meth a month. So think about that, you guys. It's almost up to 3 tons a month. 2.5 tons is their capacity of production, their max capacity. Now, remember they're also producing fentanyl, and that was one of the reasons they really heated up, and of course cocaine too, but I think the government's a lot more worried about meth and fentanyl because of the repercussions on society and the death toll with the fentanyl in particular. Now, his actual specific charge from the Federal District of Columbia is conspiracy to distribute more than 5 kilos of cocaine, at least 500 grams of amphetamine, and 1,000 kilograms of marijuana. This is the specific charges that were put that I can find against him. And from the 15th of December, the State Department announced the reward of $5 million that I reported on, I think, 2 days ago. So for each of them, it's 20 million altogether. And this is all because Joe Biden signed an executive order announcing a change in strategy on the drug trafficking, kind of going back into the old school where they'd go after the heads. Now, we all know, unfortunately, this is not effective because all that happens when you arrest the head or kill him or anything like that. It could be a CIA operation where you kill him. It could be a DEA operation where they're arrested. All that happens is his death causes instability in these groups. And usually it's not like someone just comes up and takes the place, like it was the President of the United States, where it's a clear secession. That's how it actually is. There actually is a clear secession. But with these groups, what happens lots of times, they disorganize, they fragment, they lose discipline, whatever. They end up causing 10 different cells, which all create independent cartels. Some of them 50 times as violent as the past one, because they have no strong leadership or anyone holding them back. That violence is unrestrained. And I've seen that with my own eyes after, the death of my compadre, the people who took over. They weren't restrained at anything, and the violence they caused it still stains this community where I live. And it's been years since they're dead, but people haven't forgotten. I don't think they will as long as they're alive. Now, with that being said, this is terrifying because, like I said, my greatest fear with all this news and what's going on is that in the long term, this is going to cause more heat and another big operation here in Culiacan, which could result, and probably will result this time, because I think they're going to do it a lot larger scale, a lot more organized when they try to go after him this time. They're not going to go on like last time. I think it's going to be with a lot more help with the DEA and maybe a lot more soldiers. We'll see. But I definitely smell something cooking. They don't just announce all this pressure for no reason, because they're building up an operation, and Biden himself, admitted that they're kind of changing their strategy and then going after their heads again. So he's basically saying what's going to happen. If you guys listen to their exact words, they're telling you that they're going to go after these people. And how do they go after them? Either they kill them, the CIA, or the DEA, or someone arrests them. That's just how the American government works, as far as I know. And I've been looking into this for a long time. Now, smash on that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a superb morning, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. Adios, ladies and gentlemen. Hasta la próxima. Sala, vela.